How's it going, everybody? My name is Noah Holly, and welcome back to another episode of the Pride Report, CollegePridePress.com's daily college basketball show. It is episode 20, and today we will be recapping last night's games, previewing tonight's slate, and much, much more. Should be a lot of fun, so without further ado, let's hop right into it. We had a handful of extremely close and entertaining games last night, most of which I will be recapping over the next few minutes. Quick disclaimer, I'm never able to watch much games on Tuesday nights, so I won't be able to go in-depth about any of these games, but we'll give it a go, I guess. A logical starting point would be Tuesday's lone matchup of top 25 opponents. Clemson beat UNC 82-78, earning a signature win that they desperately needed. They rode a hot night from three-point land and 20 points from Marquise Reed to snap a 10-game losing streak to North Carolina. UNC clawed all the way back from a 16-point deficit to tie the game at 74 with 2 minutes remaining, but a huge three-point jumper from Reed helped the Tigers pull away. In my opinion, Clemson boasts one of the top backcourts in the ACC. Reed, Gabe DeVoe, and Shelton Mitchell are all capable scorers who can carry the team on any given night. As for UNC, the losses are really piling up right now. The sense of urgency and execution they displayed in the second half is what we need to see over 40 minutes for a Tar Heels team that has lost 3 in a row now. Georgia picked up a crucial win over Florida, knocking off the 23rd ranked Gators 72-60. The win won't save their resume by any means, but it is certainly a start. Home games versus Auburn and Tennessee are on the Bulldogs' horizon, so if they can continue to build momentum over the next few weeks, there's no reason to think that they couldn't be dancing this March. Number 6, Xavier beat St. John's 73-68. I bet the Musketeers are glad that the Red Storm won't be appearing on their conference schedule the rest of the way, because boy has St. John's played Xavier tough this season. In this one, Shamori Pons had 31 for the Johnnies, which fell to 0-11 in league play after the loss. 12th-ranked Oklahoma avoided an upset, edging Baylor 98-96 thanks to one of the biggest nights of Trae Young's career. Young had 44 and 31 in the second half to lift the Sooners to the victory. Despite Young's outstanding play, Baylor refused to go away at any point of the game, and what resulted was multiple lead changes over the final moments as the teams traded huge buckets. It was one of the most entertaining games I have seen all season long. But yeah, this was definitely the best that I've ever seen Trae Young play. Now, he scored 40-plus before, but he wasn't overly aggressive or selfish and had much better shot selection this time around. In this one, he served the role as game manager more than anything, which is a ridiculous-sounding way to describe a 44-point performance, but it was kind of true. He shared the ball, and he created opportunities for both him and his teammates, and got the most out of every possession, which was just great to see, because this was the Trae Young that I had raved about. Not the Trae Young that had missed 25 shots versus Oklahoma State and had us all concerned about potential weaknesses in his game and how he would fare over the rest of conference play. But I don't think you should be so worried. Yes, some defenses are going to throw looks at him that he may not be prepared for and may not respond well to. But I think all in all, he's one of the best college basketball players I've ever seen. I think he's going to continue to prove that the rest of the way. The thrilling action picked up again in Lexington, Kentucky. Now, the Oklahoma and Baylor game was a lot of fun. This game was even better. Kentucky beat Vanderbilt 83-81 in overtime, pulling off a furious rally for the second game in a row. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander continued his roller coaster ride of a rookie season with a 30-point performance. Kevin Knox added 18, and Kentucky avoided what would have been a huge upset on their home floor. Vanderbilt played with a lot of heart in this one. This was just such a tough loss for these guys. They would have won if not for a costly mistake by Joe Toye in the final seconds of regulation. If you don't know what happened, with 2 seconds left and the doors up by 2, Toye reached in to poke a loose ball away from Gilgeous-Alexander and was called for the foul. If Toye hadn't fouled, Alexander would have first had to gain possession and then attempt a full court heave in the span of 2 seconds. But instead, he was able to walk up to the free throw line and hit 2 shots to send the game into overtime, which is just a horrible way to lose. The Commodores had a great chance to win in the overtime period as well, but a quad A green layup with 5 seconds left gave Kentucky the win. Kentucky did not play well for a good portion of this game. But similar to their previous win over West Virginia, they unlocked their potential before it was too late by sharing the ball, minimalizing mistakes, and getting the most out of their talent. The Wildcats are still very much a work in progress, as we all knew that they would be, but they're starting to learn how to play together well. If they can put it all together before March, watch out. Let's pick up our mid-major outlook series right where we left off and talk some Big West hoops for a little while. Now, there's no dominant team like 2015-16 Hawaii in this year's Big West, but there are a handful of good teams. This is going to be a very interesting race to watch down the stretch. Let's go ahead and put the standings on screen. Now, there's a couple of things that surprised me here, namely UC Santa Barbara, who is the current Big West representative in the bracket matrix. UCSB sits at 16-5 overall, a far cry from their putrid 6-22 record a year ago. Santa Barbara is the most balanced team in this conference and have beaten good mid-major opponents and good teams in conference play by comfortable margins all season long. Another thing that stands out here is UC Irvine, who has regressed way more than I anticipated due to the losses of multiple key pieces. I knew that they weren't going to be as good as they were a year ago, but this was still my Big West favorite heading into 2017-18. But the Anteaters are realistically the third or fourth best team in this conference. UC Davis, Long Beach State, and Hawaii are a few of the other contenders for the league crown. I'd be surprised if the Beach sits on top of the standings for long, however. Cal State Fullerton is another team you got to throw out there. They have a really good player, Kyle Allman, who's one of the conference's most prolific scorers. I would be very surprised, however, if the winner is anyone other than Santa Barbara. Let's preview tonight's games, starting with the headliner, second-ranked Virginia hosting Louisville. Now, this series has been dominated by Virginia ever since Louisville joined the ACC, and judging by UVA's play as of late, this year should be no exception. On their home floor, UVA has held opponents under 50 points on 6 different occasions and allowed 60-plus points in just 2 instances. Virginia is riding high after huge wins over Clemson and Duke last week. You may think that UVA could be ripe for a letdown tonight, but their dominance at home and history of beating Louisville is enough to suggest that the Cavaliers will pick up their 13th straight win. That game will be at 7 p.m. on ESPN2. At 6:30 p.m., a pair of ranked squads are in action. Tennessee will host an LSU team reeling from an embarrassing loss to Auburn over the weekend, and Michigan State will face Penn State also at 6:30 on Big Ten Network. The distraction of the Larry Nassar scandal hasn't appeared to affect the encore performance of the Spartans, who have won 4 in a row. West Virginia goes on the road to face Iowa State at 7 p.m. on ESPNU. The Mountaineers are reeling after losing 4 of their past 5 and look to get back on track tonight. Number 3, Purdue will take on Maryland, hoping to pick up an 18th consecutive win. Meanwhile, time is running out for the Terrapins, who are in dire need of a resume boost before all hope of reaching the NCAAs is lost. 10th-ranked Texas Tech will play host to Texas at 9 on ESPNU in a rematch of Texas's 67-58 win over the Red Raiders earlier this month. Also, Arizona will travel to face Washington State at 10 on Pac-12 Network. Don't look now, but the Wildcats have won 6 in a row, and I expect them to extend that streak to 9 before taking on USC next month in a potential battle for first place in the Pac-12. Number 8, Cincinnati, quietly one of the nation's hottest teams, will face Houston at 7 p.m. on CBS Sports Network in a huge game. Cincinnati will be at home in this matchup. Houston could very well be Cincinnati's biggest challenger for a conference title if the Bearcats have a challenger at all. Cincinnati is second in the country in scoring defense and second in margin of victory. To summarize, it's Cincinnati and everyone else at the moment in the American Athletic. But the Bearcats have yet to face Houston or Wichita State, however, so I would pump the brakes before giving them elite status. They are certainly a lot to handle, though, and I expect them to earn the win tonight and stay perfect in league play. Let's take a brief look outside of the top 25 for a moment and focus on some of the other action going around college basketball tonight. At 7 p.m. on Fox Sports 1, Seton Hall will take on Providence in a game with decidedly high bracketology stakes. 8 p.m. features a huge game in the Missouri Valley as Bradley will face Loyola Chicago. Bradley, who possesses one of the toughest defenses among mid-majors, were embarrassed in the first meeting between these two teams earlier this month. Alabama will host Missouri in a pivotal matchup between bubbled teams. And to cap off another great night in hoops, Nevada will face Fresno State at 11 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. The Wolfpack will be looking to bounce back from a heartbreaking double overtime loss to Wyoming last week. That will about do it for my preview segment. Be sure to head down to the description to check out tonight's CPP Pick'em if you're curious who our staff has winning tonight's biggest games. Unfortunately, that is all I've got time for today. Be sure to join me tomorrow for episode 21. I haven't done a Thursday show in 2 weeks now, I believe, so I'm very excited to record tomorrow's show. If you didn't know, the Thursday show is where I preview the games over the next 4 days. It's essentially like a huge game day show or a weekend preview. It's usually a pretty long one, but if you can find the time, I suggest that you give it a watch. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see ya.